I'm going to show you how to take this to this in The Sims 4. There's this very specific style of screenshot for The Sims 4 that is used on Instagram and Twitter and other social medias that is really, really cute. But if you don't know how to do it, it can be kind of challenging to figure out. So I'm going to show you how to do that style of screenshot and how to just make your screenshots overall a little bit better. The first step to these screenshots is to have a build to screenshot. Usually this style works best for open builds like this. So if it's an open room, it should be open like that. So only having 2 walls on the back side of it, and you're kind of coming at it from an angle. After you have your build ready, you have to decide where you want to place it for screenshots. If there's no windows in your build, it literally does not matter. You might want to like take into account lighting, and we'll talk about lighting in a little bit. But if there are windows in your builds, like mine, you can see here, there's lots of windows, and you're going to be able to see through those in the screenshot. So since mine is like a city loft, I decided to put my build into San Myshuno. Like I said, you can put your build anywhere, whatever background would make sense, or if you really don't care, it doesn't really matter. As for lighting, the lighting will vary lot to lot in The Sims. I will put a link down below to the lighting guide created by Mrs. Tomato 1018 down below in the comments. It's a fantastic guide. It's like just screenshots of the map with markings to show you which lot has the best lighting at what time of day and if there's objects blocking screenshots. So I will put that down below so you can use that guide as a reference for that. So this lot is said that the best lighting for this lot is evening. So we're gonna make it evening lighting because I'm totally fine with having some evening lighting. You also have to decide what angle you want to go for. I think I do like this angle, so that's what we are going to use. But the lighting might be good from a different angle, so just keep that in mind, play around with it. Now, to actually take screenshots, you want to put your build not completely like in a corner. I like to put mine more in closer to the center of my lot so that I have space behind it if I need to do something. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. There's going to be a different method for a build with windows versus without. So I'll show you for a build without windows first and then a build with windows. The easiest way that I have found to do this is with green screens, which you can actually do in the game. There are actual green screens in The Sims. Like there are actual green screens in Get Famous if you want to go that route, but I find that it doesn't really do anything to have just the regular green screen. I find that actually doing a green flooring and wallpaper is better. So what I'll do is I grab the spa day flooring in the green swatch and then I just cover my floor. This will make it so that you can much more easily remove the background of the photo in Photoshop or any other photo editing software you have because you can just key out the green color. Once you have your green, you're going to want to place walls behind it. So I'm going to just draw walls behind here along the base of my lot. And if you have a tall build, you'll want to place multiple heights of walls. And we're going to grab the matching green wallpaper from Spa Day to place on these walls. If you don't have Spa Day, you can grab any other green wallpaper, but the bright green I've noticed helps a lot. So you could also do it blue. There's a thing as a blue screen. So like if an actor in a movie is doing a green screen scene, but their costume is green, they would do a blue screen in the back so that they could still key out the color. Or there's even a magenta screen. So basically you can do this with any color as long as it's a solid color and you don't really have that color too much in your build, it should be okay. So from here, you can see I wouldn't want to do it this method because I have windows and I don't really want the green screen in the back of my windows. So this is better for a build with no windows, maybe single story, because it doesn't really matter what's behind it. So now that you have your lighting and your green screen, now's the time to take screenshots. So what you want to do so that you can get rid of all the UI on the screen, you can hit the tab button on your keyboard and it will remove all the UI and you can control it with your mouse. You can use the WASD keys to move around. You can use the Q key to lower and the E key to raise up, and you can also zoom in and out with your scroll wheel. So then you just line it up for your photo, take it from whatever angle you like. I like mine from a slightly above angle. It's just my personal preference, but you can do it however you like in whatever style or whatever angle you want it to be from. So I'm gonna take my screenshot right here. And then once you have it set up, just press the C key on your keyboard and it'll take your screenshot. And when you come out of here, it'll tell you that you took your screenshot. If you use things like reshade, I really recommend playing around with different shaders that you have. So I'm gonna take this now and I'm gonna turn on Dove 2.0 by Kindle Spice. I currently have on Milk Tea by Melixia and maybe Pumpkin Pie by Soft Pine. I like that one a lot. It gives it very good fall vibes. If you do use reshade for your screenshots, that will take out a step later down the line when it comes to editing your screenshot because you don't need to edit any colors or anything. So if you don't have reshade, I really recommend it if you really want to be taking screenshots like this and sharing them, but it's not necessary. You can easily edit your photos in an editing software in Canva, anything like that, but we will talk more about the editing softwares later. But reshade does take a step out of that at the start if you don't want to deal with editing your photos. and you have a computer that can run reshade. Another way you can take a screenshot is enclose your room build in a room. So I'm just gonna draw right around here, and I'll probably make it a little bit bigger in the back. Then I'm going to grab my green screen again. However, that does mess with my floor, so that's interesting. So I'm gonna replace my floor first, and then I'm going to take the green screen and put it in here on the floor and on the walls as well. Now for this screenshot, you'll have artificial lighting. So you'll either want to grab maybe some of the overhead lights you can place to kind of light it however you'd like. But something that I love to do is take the actual photography lights and use that to light this. So in Machino, there's a full photography studio, and in Get Famous, there is photography lighting as well. So I would take these lights. There's several of them. There's the soft box, and then there's this light from Machino, and then there's this one. And you can use these to actually light your build for your screenshots. You will want a slightly larger space for this though, and you'll want to maybe move them back a little bit so that you can get in there and really take your screenshot. But this is a very valid way to take photos, and it's how I've taken photos for my builds in the past. And you can just light it up this way. And then I would probably put one at the top as well, but play around with it and figure out how you want your build to be lit. So now that I have it lit, I will do the same thing. I will go into tab mode and I'll arrange my screenshot. And it doesn't really matter if above the green screen you have some area that's not green screen, because that can be easily edited out as well. It's just the easiest to have the green directly touching the build itself. If there's other colors not touching it, it's totally fine. But so I'll be here. I will take my screenshots and then we can move on from that. And that's how you take screenshots in an enclosed build. So now we will do the screenshot with windows. So I'm just gonna delete these walls and bring back my flooring. For this one, I'm going to move my build up to the corner so that I can still have green screen, but not have the green screen behind it in the view of the windows. So this is much closer to the edge, and I'm just gonna remove the green screen that is directly in the view of my windows because I really don't want that green in my windows. I'd rather have concrete in my windows than green. And so from here, you're gonna take your screenshot just like this. It will be a little bit harder to edit in this way, but it's totally okay. I will show you how to do it. So I'm gonna arrange and I'm going to take my screenshots. You can also take it from different angles if you want. You can play around with everything. I'm gonna change my reshade again because this pumpkin pie one is just so delightful. All right, now that we've got all of our screenshots for The Sims, it's time to close the game and open an editing software. So for editing software, I use GIMP. It's a free Photoshop type program, and it's completely free, and it is relatively simple to use. If I can use it, you could probably use it too. If you don't want to use GIMP, you could use Photoshop if you have that. If you have Canva Pro, you can use that to remove background. There's also lots of other editing software. There's even like random websites that you can like put your photo into to remove background. I don't know how much we should trust those, but that's for you to decide if you want to do it that way. There are lots of ways though to remove a background for a photo. So I'm just going to throw in my screenshot here. This is the favorite one that I took, and we're going to edit out this background. So the first step of this is to add an alpha channel to our photo. So you're going to go here to the right and right click this layer here and then go down to add alpha channel. That'll make it so you can have a transparent PNG style background, and we can create our own background. Now that we have our background, we're going to go in with the fuzzy select tool first. I'm going to use this on all of the green screen. So I'm just going to click the green. You can see that there's a shadow here, so we'll have to do it in a few clicks, but just press the delete key after you select your green. Just be aware of your screenshot itself, what you want to keep in there to make sure that it doesn't have anything highlighted. So you could potentially highlight something that you don't want to highlight. So just make sure that you don't have anything highlighted that shouldn't be deleted. You can adjust that by clicking and dragging the tool up and down. You can see like what I'm grabbing is different, but we're just going to delete all that green screen. And honestly, if there's piece out here, I don't really bother with it because I'll go in with another tool in a second to get rid of that stuff, and it's a little bit faster. And then I'm going to go in and delete this concrete behind here as well. So that's the floor. If you did this with the full green screen, then continue doing it for the upper part. If you didn't do the full green screen, or you want to clean up the edges a little bit more, we're going to grab the paths tool. I love this tool. It makes it so you can make some really clean edges. So I'm going to press Control and zoom in with my scroll wheel at the same time, and you can come in close to the edges. And I'm just going to click here, right where the background meets the window, and it's going to scroll up and then click up to here. And that should put a line right across there. You might have to undo, redo, you know, and play around with it. And then we're just going to keep doing this basically and outlining all of our build. And again, you can like go in and check every piece, and you can always come back in later and do some more fixes. When it's curved, it takes a little bit more effort, but you can just make little lines to kind of get that curve. And I'll come in and closer and clean it up after we get the majority of the background out. So now that we have it all outlined, and it only goes around part of it, I'm gonna just bring it out here. I'm gonna click on the outside of the box away from all of the color in the background through the transparent part and bring it all the way around here so that we can delete all of this background. So there's extra stuff down here. You can go around to there and bring that in. And then once you're ready to connect these two lines, you're gonna hold Control and click on the first point point and then press enter, and it'll highlight everything and then delete, and it'll remove your entire background. If you want to go in closer, you can edit these edges, but you just gotta be careful because if you go in too much to like edit all these pixels, it will look a little funny, and I know that from experience. So honestly, these don't bother me. We are going to add a border to this anyway, so it's not gonna be really noticeable in my opinion. The only thing I might do is I might take my fuzzy select tool and just put it here in between this railing to kind of clear that out a little bit. But now that I have the photo, it's time to export it. So I'm just going to export as, I will do loft screenshot and save it to wherever you want to put it on your computer. And then once you save it, you hit export. It'll export it. No need to save within the program. I literally never do that, and it's fine. Now we're gonna go into Canva. I assume you can use other editing softwares for this as well. I don't know how to use GIMP for actual photo editing, aside from really just removing some backgrounds and maybe putting text on a page, but I know how to use Canva really well. I've used Canva since I was in high school. So I've used this for a very long time. I know how it works. I know all the tools. So I'm gonna put it into Canva. You can keep it in your editing software if you know how to use it really well. If you don't have Canva, there's editing apps on your phone that you can get. There's especially one called Lightroom that I like to use. It is an Adobe app, but it's like a free version of the photo editing app, and it's really nice. You can download presets for it and everything, but we're gonna use Canva. We're gonna create a design up here on the top right, and I usually make mine for Instagram. Typically, I make it for Instagram and then I post it to other places if I want to. So I'm gonna make an Instagram square post for this, and there's a default right here. If you wanna make it any other size, you can type right into here. If you wanna put it to Twitter, you can select any of these Twitter ones. If you wanna like put it on Twitch, you can make it into a Twitch panel or something. I don't know. Whatever you want, you could probably type it in and find defaults for it. If not, you can choose a custom size and put in your sizes. We're gonna do an Instagram square post, and it'll give us a square. Once you get to this point, you're gonna drag in your screenshot from your file. I usually like to bring in the sides for mine. You just bring it like this. It just makes my life a little bit easier to size things. And then we're gonna size it up and make it however you want. I would say take up the majority of the space, but it's up to you how much space you wanna put on here. And then I like to use this position tool and do center middle. It just makes it so much faster than like moving it around, trying to find the center of the middle itself. So once you have your photo in here, you can edit your photo if you would like to. So if you go to edit photo, you can add filters. They have all sort of filters you can add. You can also go to the adjust tab. I like using the adjust tab, and you can change the brightness or the contrast. You can basically just edit it to look exactly how you'd like it to look, to give it the not Sims quality of color. Because if you have no reshade, if you have no recolor mods, the game lighting and color are relatively bad. Like it's kind of really bad. So feel free to edit your photos. And again, that can be done in other programs as well. Lightroom, other editing software, Photoshop. I think Photoshop, probably Photoshop. I don't know how to use Photoshop, but go ahead and play around with it until you find something that you like. But if you have reshade and you use some reshades and you like it, you can totally skip this step. From here, you're gonna wanna select the background. Now this is where we get to putting fun colors in the background. So you can do whatever you want as the background. I like to use this category that is default added that has colors that it's taken from the photo. So I'll like to like maybe go in here and use one of these because the colors already complement it. However, you don't have to do that. You can add whatever color you want. You can also use a gradient. They have a lot of these default gradients that you can use if you would like. Or what I've just learned how to do and what we're gonna do today is create our own gradient. So go to the little color spot and switch over to gradient, and you can choose what style. There are 5 different styles of gradient. So pick which one you want and which one you like the best. I like the linear gradient 180. It's light on the top, darker on the bottom. And then we pick our colors. So I want to remove the white and the gray. So I'm just gonna click on those. And honestly, I think I want to bring in those colors that it was picked. So I'm just gonna scroll down on here and grab these colors. We're just gonna hit the dropper button. And if you can't get the color you want, you can always copy the color. So I'm gonna grab that and copy this and go in here and paste it into that. So it's a little bit later, but play around with what colors you want. I don't know if I want to go with this. I might go for more of a gray gradient or a red gradient. I don't know. So I think I've decided that I'm gonna go with this light gray to brown gradient. It's not my favorite color combination, but it's okay. And when you do this, you can see that there are a few imperfections that I did when I was editing my photo. So I'm just gonna bring this in a little bit more to kind of cut those out a little bit, just so that there's less of it, because we don't need it. We don't need those imperfections in our life. Now we're gonna outline it. So you're gonna click on your image and go to edit photo, and then to the shadow tool in the effects, and you're going to choose outline. From here, you can change your colors. I make mine white. I like a white outline. It also will hide any weird lighting around the edges. And then you can change the size of your outline. I like a smaller outline personally. You can also blur it if you want it to be a little bit blurred. You can change the angle of it if you want it to be different angled. You can also choose the distance if you want it to be like a drop shadow. I don't know what's going on in my corner. I have to say, I don't know what's happening here. Don't know what's going on with that. All right, I went in and fixed those little imperfections options because that was bothering me. So I went into GIMP and used the path tool to remove that. So I'm just gonna re-add the border, change my color to white. And I like to have a thinner border personally. So we're gonna thin that out a little bit. So now we have our edited photo. I like to go in and watermark it. This is an optional step, but I think it's a nice little thing to have. So you can go in and choose any heading and then whatever font you would like. This is mine. I already have one kind of pre-done, and I just put my handle on there, and we're just gonna line it up against the edge right here. And if you need to zoom in, you can always zoom in to line things up better or anything that you need to do. And then I'm gonna change the color to this dark brown so that it's not super noticeable, because I don't want it to be like right in your face and have like my watermark and like my name on it. But I want it to be there in case someone's looking for it, or for some reason I need to prove it's my screenshot, whatever. People like to try to steal screenshots. It's unfortunate, but people like to do that. You can also place it even like on the edge here if you wanted to. I know people will do that. They'll kind of like tuck it in so it's even less noticeable. It's really personal preference. I like to put mine right up along the edge, just like that, in a kind of lighter color. And from here, you're just gonna hit share, download, make sure it's a PNG because that'll be the highest quality photo, and then download, and you'll download your image off of Canva. And that is how you edit these really fun Instagram screenshots. If you have any questions about these, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to help you if I can, if I have the knowledge. I only recently figured this out myself. I have been doing it with like the removing a background way and like setting a flat background, but the whole border and the gradients and stuff, that's all new for me. So we're learning. So you can always keep learning with this. You can change it, make it your own style, add logos, add words, whatever you want to do with it. Make it your own, have fun with it. They're your photos, they're your edits. Make them for yourself and have fun while you do it. If you have any other tutorials you'd like to see about The Sims, it could be things in the game. It could be things like this where it's like Sims, but like not in the game. I would love to teach you guys how to do things. No one should be gatekeeping The Sims or how to do things in The Sims. So I want to help open those doors for you. So if you have anything that you want to learn how to do, leave it in the comments below. And in the description are the links to my Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, my Twitter. You can see all the screenshots that I've done like this so far and all of that. And you can come build with us in real time over on TikTok and Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!